So this is verse 49, chapter 18. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spruha naishkarme siddhim paramam sanyasena digacchati. In Hindi, the translation reads, सर्वत्र आसक्ति रहित बुद्धि वाला, स्पृहा रहित और जीते हुए अंतःकरण वाला पुरुष सांख्य योग के द्वारा उस परम नैष्कर्म्य सिद्धि को प्राप्त होता है. So it's now like taking like sort of almost like the turn before the final turn to Godhead. It says, abhi, yeah, like we learn all the lessons about what's good, bad, right, wrong. It says, so now asakta buddhi, to decode this and unpack in English, sakti is insistence, obstinate, stubborn, stuck. No, sakta is that, insisting. When I insist something, that it must happen, you must, you have to. What do you mean you don't? Asikasina, those are all fall in the category of sakti. The advice here is asakta. So not that, none of that, not insisting. When the buddhi, the decision-making faculty, the decision-making tool, right? What's the best use of our buddhi or brain? We're able to decide. We make decisions using this tool called the brain. When it's not stuck, when it's the brain is not predisposed to certain decision, कि यही ठीक होगा, ऐसा ही होना चाहिए, then what's left there to? Then where's the decision? You're already stuck. You already decided ahead of time. That's really the mind in the disguise of the brain. The imposter. That's like Elon Musk running the White House. There is that fearless proclamation. Hopefully it doesn't reach the White House. Otherwise I'll be deported to India pronto. Maybe I'll cut this out before posting it. No, I won't. So when the mind as an imposter starts to run brain, that's where it gets stuck. So know that when we are stuck somewhere, when we're insisting, that it is not a decision that the brain is making. It's something that my mind is absolutely influencing and forcing, pressuring the brain to, and the brain is going along with it. And okay, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, okay, let's do this. May or may not be right. Decision for you. So asakta buddhi, watch for that key. Am I insisting unreasonably? Within reason, maybe you have to pursue it. If somebody is being obstinate, to just counter that because you know that this is the right thing for them. But constantly check on yourself, on your decision making. Am I being stuck? Asakta buddhi sarvatra. Sarvatra is everywhere, in all circumstances. Not just personal, not just on our family matters, even as a brother, or for my nephew, or at work, or for my colleague, for my friend. When voting, for example, or any of that, any place, anytime, not just in the US or in India, right? So asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma, where the atma is ruling. Atma is higher than the buddhi also. Implicit in this that is that the higher order faculty is in control. Basically, when the brain is not being hijacked by the mind, and the mind is not being hijacked by the senses, like आंखें बार बार इधर ही जा रही है, कान बार बार उधर ही जा रहा है, and the mind is just wrapped up in it, and we becomes obsessed. Oh, they can keep on eating the cookies that I'm told not to eat. So then that's what's happening, is the mind has been hijacked by the senses, and then when the brain is hijacked by the mind, that not like that. And when the atma, the soul, the most powerful, is hijacked even by the brain. So jita atma, when the hierarchy is followed, when the one who is truly the superior is the one who gives the order, and those orders are followed by everyone underneath it, when the atma is situated. Now remember, we're at the peak of the Gita now. This isn't, the description from here on is not for a sadhak. It's not of the state of mind of the seeker that we are. Krishna now is not describing us. Krishna is describing the one who has reached the summit from here on. This is why I said that, okay, now we've taken the turn. But after this is the final turn. Like this is, all right, this is Everest. Suppose, for those who may have gone, this is Everest, right here. And then the final step is, okay, now step on it. Touch the flag and take yourself and get out of here, right? So it's for those who are there. But isn't that our destination? If we're at the base camp and come here, that's where we want to go. Therefore, we must know. We have to know what's next. How do they show up? How do they behave? How do they think? What do they do? Because we have to follow them, those who have gone before us. So their Atma is in control. The hierarchically, the one that's actually powering all the faculties. What happens when the Jivatma leaves? It's in the coffin, right? The brain, literally the brain, the mind, the senses, they're all in the coffin waiting for their turn, for the button to be pressed, right? And it's gone. So the one who is powering all of those, when Jitatma, when that one is controlled, all decisions are informed by what is right. So asakta buddhi, and the way it shows up is that brain is never stuck. That mind has never hijacked the brain. Those senses are never obsessed. There is no compulsion in it. There is no insistence in it. It's a very free-flowing, it's a very natural life. It's a beautiful life. And the life that you see of a Siddha yogi, it's a very, very beautiful, natural life. It's a thing to watch. It's a thing of beauty. So asakta buddhi, and certainly a thing to experience. You don't want to be stuck only watching other yogis. Gita was not told to Arjun because, hey, like how they lived. Gita was told because Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna, you must become yogi Arjun. Why? Because you can and you must. You're born for that, right? And so it's for us. So right now we're following on the footsteps of those who've gone and reached the summit. So how do they behave? What does that look like? They're unstuck. In one word, they're unstuck, resolved, sorted. If that resonates with you, they're sorted. Gutta nahi rehta, like there's no knot tied. It's free flowing. Isn't that a beautiful way to live? If you could have a sorted life, sorted mind, if you could have it's all unresolved, it's like completely resolved, right? What a beautiful life it would be. It would be just unstuck, free flowing, natural. It's okay when you could really say and mean, that's fine, no problem, no worries, it's okay in all circumstances. And you would mean it also, and you would feel it also. Wouldn't that be a way to live a human life? And that's where they are. So asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spruha. Gata is gone. Vigata is completely gone. Vi is visheshan, especially. Skya gone what? Spruha. Spruha is this thirst, the longing, the yearning. कुछ तो इतना तो हो जाए, ये मिल जाए, थोड़ा सा और हो जाए. You know how we long for it, and we say, I'm longing for my soul. The soul is longing. The soul doesn't long for this. It's been hijacked soul that longs. The soul only longs for its origin, to be reunited with its super soul. Soul doesn't long for things. Soul doesn't long for objects. And we say, no, मेरे दिल से लग रहा है मेरे को, like it's मेरी आत्मा से इच्छा है कि इसका इतना काम हो जाए. आत्मा की कोई इच्छा नहीं होती ऐसी. But it feels so real because it's been so fantastically hijacked completely that it's become one as if. And the soul's been put to sleep nicely. Lay there, don't wake up. I got it. I took control of your life. You can sleep for 8.4 million lifetimes. We'll see after that. I got this. So, and we have to wake it up and say, no. So, ये स्पृहा शब्द बहुत सुंदर है in Sanskrit, and there's no way to exactly define it in English. It's really it reaches the depth of the soul. It's such deep longing. So accept what's not known for the wrong things. I mean, jo pure longing, the purest kind, just like a Gopika would long for Krishna. It was the deepest longing for the right cause, right reason. That type of, it's called spriha. But unfortunately, alas, sad story for the wrong object. That's spriha. That's kind of how I can describe. There is no literal translation of so many Sanskrit words. So that's spriha, vigata, gone forever. Longing for wrong objects, wrong intentions, wrong outcomes is completely gone. So much so then there is no longing left. Because when the longings go away, we rise in our own original nature, because our original nature does not come from somewhere, is not given to us from the outside, is not shown. with a flash of light and something appears in front of us, the original nature is already there. We are that. It just becomes our conviction, intuitively manifests and realization, self-realization that, oh my God, that's right. All my lifetime I've been this and I'm acting like that because the I that I am part of that has been completely taken over, hijacked, and been befooled into thinking, ye to itna to karna padta hai. Oh, I have to do this. Aren't I like a father? Am I not like a son? I'm a husband. I have to do this. I have to go along. I have to do this, do that. Like completely being running amok, not just in this lifetime, but lifetimes after lifetimes. And when that longing, I have to wali longing jab chali jati hai, I don't have to. That's that vigata spraha. So then when we put this together, asakta buddhis sarvatra jitatma vigata spraha naishkarmi siddhim paramam, that's when that soul, and while performing any performance, is naishkarmi siddhi. There isn't even an intention behind it. That's when even the intentionality drop. You no longer are even using the intentionality filter. You're doing it as part of dharma. That's nature. That's the nature. You're flowing with nature. Just like when the tree grows from a sapling, do you think there is an intention in the tree's mind? No. When the wind is blowing, do you think there is an intention? Yeah, aisa kar dete, waisa kar dete. The sun rises with an intention? There is no intention. The sun naturally rises and naturally emanates the sunlight. The wind naturally blows. The water naturally flows. When the fire burns, do you think that's thinking, today my intention is this much thermometer upar niche kar de, this much heat, this much, like it's natural in its own form. And by remaining natural, fire constantly gives heat. Light constantly gives light. Right? Like the sunshine, for example. Wind constantly brings relief, however you want to think about it, because it's inbuilt. And so the Siddha yogi naturally performs without thinking, and it only benefits everyone around them, and that becomes dharma. So, and that's Naishkarma Siddhi, because there is no expectation. Naishkarma is there is no expectation or intention. It does not have a beginning, sankalpa that I am doing this because I want this to happen. Sankalpani, it does not have an end. This is over now, what did we get? Did this happen? And none of the actions have any beginning or any end. You don't know where the wind started and where it will end. Yeah? Like that. So, Naishkarma Siddhim Paramam, that is the supreme. Param is supreme, the highest way of performing. Ultimately, in performing our duties, we have to get to that where what I'm doing is naturally happening. It's happening through me. When people say, I'm not the doer, I'm not doing it, it's happening through me. Wind is blowing through me. And I just say, so that happens when we become hollow, like the flute. Hence the flute, the one chosen instrument of Krishna. Uska apna, it has nothing of its own inside. Completely given of inside. And the beautiful notes flow through it. It's not the flute that making those good the sound melodies come out. It's the flute player, right? Isn't it? It's the flute player that's bringing about the beautiful notes come out. What is the flute's role then? What's the flute doing? It's just letting it flow. How? However. Who decides? The flute blower, the flute player. And hence, it'd never be found without the flute. And everybody's jealous, including Radharani, of the flute. That it's after so many effort that we get the joy, this is a verse, of your lips. And what has this flute done that it constantly is on your lips? What gives? What have we not done, and what's the flute done? And so think about it. The flute has left nothing of its own. It just completely lets me flow. There cannot be a bigger, more sahaj karma. Is the flute not flowing? Is the flute not blowing? Is the flute not producing melody? And so the flute, if the answer is yes, which it is, then the flute is doing, isn't it? The flute is performing this musical, the performance. And yet it's not doing. Because it's not the flute that's doing. It's being done through it. That's the idea behind a Siddha yogi's performance. That's Naishkarma. It takes a while, it takes practice, it takes a lot of thinking, but it happens, and it is real. This isn't just only for those. Just like if the Sherpas reach the summit, or whoever, Edmund Hillary, whoever reached, right? I don't know if he really was the first one or not, but so it wasn't just like they had reached by hearing their stories. How many now? Thousands have climbed Mount Everest. In the 4th chapter, Gita says, Bahavo jnana tapasa putamad bhagat. Bahavo is a plural word. How innumerable. Bhagavad. Like Krishna says in this Gita in the 4th chapter, so many have reached me following this path. Bahavo jnana tapasa. Tapasa is hard work. By sticking with it, by staying in it, in this knowledge, in this path. Puta is like humans. Mad, mine, bhavam, agata, have reached me. So many humans have succeeded in reaching me. What if the Mount Everest says, so many have reached me by following the path of those first couple of yogis? What's the big deal? You can do. You have to condition yourself and practice and like follow the rules and all of that, but you can. So that's why this is shown. Naish karma siddhim paramam sannyasena adhigacchati. Samanyasena. Nyas is letting go. Sama is in the best possible, evenly, completely. Sannyas is completely letting go. So he says, just like the flute example, when one is able to completely let go but not perform, meaning completely let go of our personal whatever and yet still perform the duties. It's a tough one to understand and to do, but it is possible. When someone is able to completely let go of personal motives, expectations, desires, intentions, whatever, but not let go of the task itself. Performs it just like the flute, performs the task of letting the wind blow in a particular way and letting it out at a particular place, one of those 6 holes on it. It's letting, but not of its own. And when it consistently does, samanyas, sama is consistent, homogeneous, always repeatable. That sannyasena, when we're able to, adhigacchati. Gacchati is reaching, adhi is quickly. That's in that yogi quickly reaches. This path, following this path, the yogi quickly reaches the param, the supreme state of mind. Now, reaching not with the physical body and not a physical place, it's a state of being, it's a state of mind. It's able to perform that way. You know? So because this is like sort of the final stretch of the summit, it also takes a while to fully unpack, because I don't want to shortchange you. My intention is not to somehow finish the Gita. If it has taken 11 years, then what's another year? It's the opposite of it. Like, I believe through my experience that any of these verses are so potent, so powerful, that they all have the power to take us there, lift us up. So rather than trying to rush through, I'd rather slow down and like really make sure, hammer it in, that it's really sunk in. And it will only sink in, like when you take a hammer and put a nail in a wall or in this wooden board, you can do so much. But you need that final blow for it to completely become one with it, right? And we know when the nail is flush with the wood, when you put more finger on it, and like you cannot tell the difference, right? You know what I'm talking about, Sanjeev bhai? Tigar bhai? That's when you like, uske saath ek ho gaya. It's become one with it. Now it'll be trouble, like it'll be hard to separate it. Until it becomes flush, you can still put something and like pull it out. There can still be some desire. There can still be some woman. There can still be some child. There can still be that ashram that you have to build, or some community, or my nation. That's some India, that's some Hindu dharam. There can still be something. It's called the final news in the Shastra. Maya still keeps one final news. And actually that one is Aham Brahmasmi. It's said that when the Jivatma says that I am all, I am it, becoming forgetful of the real, full and complete, there's still that way to clutch it and pull it out and throw it away. Okay, now that nail. But when that final hammer, like, itna paka kar deti ki, you're going to have to break that wooden board to pull that nail out. Bhagwan ko todna padega, isko alag karne ke liye. That final hammer only you can. That blow only you can. Others can. Others like me can hammer it, like make it. It's stable. I think your nail is now stable. I really honestly feel like it will not wobble. It will not teda. It will not be crooked. I think it's going to go in, but you must hammer in through your own process, however that is. Then it was just adhigachati. It quickly reached. That's why we're taking the time. And you're so gracious and you're so kind, and I mean it, and you're so generous with your time that you put up and you bear with this, that you don't, you could say, can we just finish it by a certain date? Can we like make this rule that every time we must cover like 3 verses or 4 verses? You could say that, and as your servant I would try it. I would, because that's my natural role. Like if I've been invited here, I don't want to be stuck and say, no, I don't want to go there. If I'm invited, go. If you want to hear the Gita, talk. If you say 3 shlokas, we'll do 3 shlokas. If you're cool with the way the wind is blowing through me, then let it flow the way it is, right? So, but if I just wanted to explain that why are we so slow? Why do we make such slow progress? You have the control. You can fast forward if you'd like. Just so you have the agency. This is your forum. I'm here to only participate. So let me pause here. I don't think like maybe what you're reading has. So the way it reads is सर्वत्र आसक्ति रहित बुद्धि वाला, स्पृहा रहित और जीते हुए अंतःकरण वाला पुरुष. Oh yeah, you're right, Jigar bhai. I'm impressed. सांख्य योग के द्वारा उस परम नैष्कर्म्य सिद्धि को प्राप्त होता है. Wow, great, awesome. So okay, excellent, very 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 good question. So यहाँ पे कहते हैं नैष्कर्म्य सिद्धिम परमाम, है ना, असक्त बुद्धि सर्वत्र जितात्मा अविगत स्फुर नैष्कर्म्य सिद्धिम परमाम. So that theory, naishkarma siddhi, that's a theory, right? Ultimately we have to bring theory into practice, otherwise it's meaningless. All theory is meaningless without practice. That theory is technically called Sankhya Yoga. It's literally the name of that theory. Just like we have Karma Yoga, we have Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, there is a theory called Sankhya Yoga, which is the analytical understanding. Sankhya Yoga literally translates into analytical understanding of the way things are, the system. Just analysis, we understand many things. Some things we intuitively understand. अपने आप ही पता समझ जाती है. Sometimes we understand through repeated study of it again and again and again and again. Okay, finally. And some theories to understand, we have to really analyze deeply, uncode it, decode it, unpack it. And I say like data analysis. Here's the political analysis, and the pundits after the election, before the cricket match होती है तो ball by ball, over by over analysis. Super Bowl के बाद what this should have done, and there are the arrows. ये क्या चल रहा है? Analysis चल रहा है, like analyze it. Getting anal about it, like deep down into the weeds, detail में. So that's that Sankhya Yoga. So what he was saying is that those who have reached through a deep analysis, Naishkarma Siddhim. Siddha is fulfilled. Naishkarma Siddhi is when that fructifies, when that analysis matures. Marinates. I've already combined marinate and maturates. So when that comes to bear, when that ripens, when the theory comes into practice, theory of Sankhya Yoga, is when they very quickly reach it. And so it's interesting because that's why it took us so long to unpack this. Essentially what we were doing was analyzing. And essentially what I'm asking you to do is further analyze it. Because this was still the surface level analysis. You know how at work we say, let's double click on it. Like, let's go deep down into, like, can you further analyze this subset of it? I really want to understand, slice and dice the data, right? That's the Sankhya Yoga in it. It's like, there's like numerology in it also. Sankhya is numbers, literally. How many times repeating. So
Sankhya Yogi is the person who goes with that.
Sankhya Yogi, so in all of these there is a yogi at the end, right? Whether Sankhya Yogi, Karma Yogi, Bhakti Yogi, great one, right? Dhyana Yogi, Raj Yogi, these are like all different ways. But what do they have in common? All of them yogi, right? Yoga. And the yogi means the one who has connected. The river that has now entered the ocean. Therefore, yes, until entering the ocean, it was a river. I still see it flowing. Here, though, I don't know that if it's a river, and if so, where it is. I think it's God, meaning I think it's ocean. To me, it looks like an ocean, because even though I see it, I understand it, I get it that it's a river, but from this point forward, it has become the ocean. So yogi is that, jiska yog ho gaya, the one who has united, has joined, has connected, has welded, has become one with that. So that's yogi. Now Sankhya yogi is the one who has reached, connected, united through this practice of constantly decoding, unpacking, analyzing, and keep going after it through like a detailed study of it, of the meaning of it, the words, the how can this be, constantly pushing on it and like double clicking and going in the details and slicing and dicing until you see that subatomic, yeah, oh my God, yeah, this is what I see in every one of them. Therefore, yeah, now it's become my truth, right? When you're able to see it, now it's become your truth. It's not just truth. It's not God's truth. It's not kisi sant ne bataya, it's not my guru told me. Like the truth that I speak, Jigar Bhai, it's my truth, period. There is no qualifier for it. And my guru got me started and my God told me, there's no question about it. The truth is mine, because there is only one truth. If it's the same truth that is anybody's who has achieved the truth is their truth. There is truth is only one. No? But it has become so one with that it just feels like the truth. The 10 rivers getting into the ocean from 10 different directions, in the middle of the ocean, who knows? Like it's an ocean. It can say this is my ocean and this is my ocean, that there. Yeah, but there is only one ocean. As the Sankhya yogi is the one who has reached this particular path. Bhakti yogi is the one who has reached through the path of love, path of devotion. Jnana yogi, Karam yogi, who has reached through the path of service, right? Essentially selflessly serving. When there is no ego, no motivation, no self-will, doing nothing for themselves, constantly executing for the well-being of others. That would be the Karma yogi. Dhyana yogi is those who have reached the heights and the supreme knowledge and experience through Samadhi. Samadhi ki sthiti. Ramakrishna Paramahansa used to do that. His followers, Vivekananda and others, used to do that as well. So Sankhya yogi is that, like a detailed understanding of it. So
a couple of anecdotal things to my mind, just